As Lindsay Lohan wrapped up her second rehab trip of 2007, she told Tatler magazine that she had found new inspiration in the 1532 book The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Odd choice for a self-help book it may be, but by July it really seemed that Lindsay was ready to turn a new page. She was more often seen strutting her stuff outside of AA meetings across LA rather than drinking herself blind at Les Deux. However, little by little, Lindsay seemed to be slipping. After checking out of rehab on July the 13th, she celebrated her newfound sobriety like any newly sober person would do, Vegas, and she was sporting a brand new look to celebrate this new phase of her life, a scram bracelet. Rather than vodka, Lindsay would sip on a Red Bull all night, as well as Chris Angel, aging magician, for a few hours at a time. And if that didn't raise any eyebrows, her return to the LA clubs certainly would. Star magazine claimed that during Lindsay's time at rehab, she evaded drug tests by inhaling whippets. Other weeklies spread rumors of wild 3-day benders, booze-filled water bottles, texting during AA meetings, and a failed rehab romance that drove a distraught Lilo to slash her wrists. But could any of this really be true? Only a few days after being released from rehab, Lindsay went back to the police station, this time turning herself in for a DUI charge from her Memorial Day weekend from hell. People would say that she was very pleasant and cooperative, but it would take her less than a week to make the charge double. By July the 21st, rumors that Lindsay was truly slipping started to spread. A source claimed to the New York Daily News that she spent a lot of time in her room upstairs, while another witness said she seemed wrecked. Whatever the truth was, Lindsay was back on the town and was seen the next day partying with her assistant, Taryn Graham, at Lax. She kicked off the next morning on a far calmer note, sunbathing. With the scram bracelet in full view, liquor seemed to be the last thing on Lindsay's mind. But by 2:15 a.m. the next day, Lilo was behind bars. What had Lindsay done this time? Her attorney was soon to find out. On the evening of the 23rd of July, Lindsay was throwing a surprise birthday party for her assistant's boyfriend's friend Dante, and said that Dante could bring his friends to the party, Jacob and Ronnie. Why she decided to have this party, I don't know, but shortly after midnight, an argument erupted outside the party between Taryn and Dan, and Lindsay came out of the house to tell her to be quiet, to which Taryn replied, "I quit." Taryn storms off, taking her boyfriend by the hand out of Dante's car, but an angry Lindsay takes his place. As Taryn drives off, Lindsay starts up the ignition, prompting Ronnie, who'd been sitting in the back seat, to quickly jump out, but not quick enough to avoid being run over by a delirious Lilo, and he broke his foot. As a speeding Lilo hightailed Taryn, Dante tried to grab the wheel and hit the brakes. "If you touch me, I'll sue you," she reportedly shouted, leaving Dante and the other remaining passenger, Jake and Sutter, to desperately beg Lindsay to stop. At nearly 100 miles per hour, Lindsay sped through red lights in an effort to try and catch up to Taryn. When Dante cried, "You're going to kill us," Lindsay coolly responded, "I can't get in trouble. I'm a celebrity. I can do whatever the fuck I want." The chase quickly moved from Malibu to Santa Monica, and once Lindsay realized Taryn was heading to her mother's house, she sped through several near collisions to try and get there first. But just as Lilo arrived, another car was pulling into the driveway, belonging to Taryn's mum, Michelle Peck. Just as she was pulling into the driveway, she noticed a white GMC speeding towards her, so she began driving backwards down the street to escape Lilo's wrath. As Lilo continued to speed and drive through every red light and stop sign, this time in a residential zone, a terrified Michelle decided to call 911. As Lindsay continued to speed recklessly, Michelle had already made the smart decision to drive to the local police station, and by the time she stopped her car, Lindsay finally realized what her situation had come to. After almost falling over during her sobriety test, Lindsay was dragged off the scene in cuffs and booked on a DUI, the second time in under 2 months. After failing a blood alcohol test, cops searched Lindsay and found a folded Clinique sun care card in her back pocket, covered in a snowy white substance. Once tests confirmed the obvious, Lindsay gave yet another excuse. She was wearing someone else's pants. But this time, there was no escaping the music. The whole world was about to find out that Lindsay had messed up big time. Headlines rushed in, gossip sites spread the news, and comedians readied their jokes. While Lindsay tried to clear her reputation by issuing a defense of her own, emailing Access Hollywood that she was completely innocent, she was supposed to be appearing on Jay Leno to promote her latest movie, I Know Who Killed Me. But for obvious reasons, she had to cancel, leaving Leno to arrange a last-minute fill-in.
Thank you, Jay. Whoa! Woo! God, I was up late last night, let me tell you. Woo, late.
Yeah. I gotta admit, you don't look like yourself.
No?
Maybe a little heavier.
A little heavier?
Yeah.
Well, the camera does, you know, you do gain about 10 pounds.
Yeah.
The camera.
Right.
You guys got like 10 cameras here.
Right.
Yeah. Lindsay's estranged father, fresh out of jail and supposedly in touch with Jesus, also gave his thoughts on the situation, issuing exclusive statements to Perez, TMZ, OK, and just about anyone who'd listen. And as for Lindsay's top frenemy, Miss Paris Hilton, there was no statement to be heard from the notorious cokehead Regina George, until she put this poster up out on her front gate. Lindsay's new movie, I Know Who Killed Me, opened on the weekend of 27th July and earned just over $3 million, as well as a bunch of awful reviews. With the film career in flames and felony charges looming, Lindsay went to the place she knew she could always find a home: rehab. This time opting for the cozy Utah retreat, Cirque Lodge, instead of the trendier Betty Ford or Long Island. The passengers of July 24th's wild 100 miles per hour ride would later sue Lindsay for damages and settle for an undisclosed amount in 2012. As for Lindsay's criminal charges, the drug possession felony would later be dropped because cops mistook Lindsay's cocaine for a breath mint and tossed it in the trash. Looks like Hollywood's most infamous party girl would get away with it again. All of this and more is why Lindsay's wild ride is definitely one of my favorite pop culture moments. What would you have done if you were in that car with Lindsay? How different do you think the 2000s revival would be if Lindsay, Paris, or Nicole had actually ran someone over? How many years do you think they would spend in jail? Let me know in the comments down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're new.
Oh, is that one of those alcohol monitors?
Well, let's take a look and see what we got here, baby.
Yeah,